Looks like stream is healthy and it's official. All right. Welcome to Tech Teacher Support. My name is Chris, and today I'm going to help you install Folding at Home so you can use your computer to help fight the coronavirus. And I saw this on an article I have up here on the screen, and I'll post this into the description. But a lot of us as teachers or students have laptops or computers at our house, and there's many hours of the day that they go unused, whether when we're sleeping or when we're doing other things outside or whatever it may be. Our computer sits around a lot not doing anything. So why not have it do something productive? And I read this article. This is on Polygon, and it's about a company called Folding at Home that's based out of Stanford researchers. And they've been doing this for over a decade. And there are a number of health and science-related research studies that they need to perform calculations on, whether that be Parkinson's or Alzheimer's, or in this case, coronavirus. But there just aren't enough computers at Stanford or at any hospital or university to run the millions of calculations that are needed. So they do this thing called distributed computing. And you may have seen this with SETI at Home, which is the search for aliens, or climate prediction.net, which is helping understand our climate. But essentially, what it's doing is it's using the millions of computers distributed across the world to help do a little chunk of research to give back into the bigger picture. So what's going to happen is we're going to go to Folding at Home, and I listed the steps out in front of us. We're going to install the software on our computer. Then we're going to set it up so when we're not using our laptop, it is going to connect to the research facility, download a bunch of research, and churn through that. It takes a lot of computing power to churn through that. But if enough people do this, you're essentially doing millions of computer calculations per minute. It's incredible the amount of work that we can all do if we all chip in a little bit, right? So here we go. Again, on the screen, you can read, this is the article that talks about sort of the science behind it and the technology behind it. Some of you may be familiar with this and have used it before. Others can get a little bit of background of where it came from and what it's sort of intended to do. So I'll link that article. What I'm going to do is click and go right here, and I'm going to go right over to the Folding at Home website. And when you do that, it takes you here. And this is the official foldingathome.org website. This is where we're going to download the software. And again, you can read about the science. You can read about all of the news around what's been happening with this software. But we're very specifically looking for the installer so we can get it running on our computer. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, so number one, foldingathome.org. We are here right now. Number two, you're going to click Start Folding, and you're going to want to scroll down the screen a little bit here, and I'll highlight this with my mouse. And right here in orange, it says Start Folding, and you can see it's available for Linux, Windows, and Mac. So I'm on a Mac, and we'll install it for that. I also have over here a Dell laptop. This is just one of our general student computers. We're going to install it on that. This is something you could install on a whole computer lab at school. And obviously overnight when the students are using the computer lab, it would run this software. It'd be really cool. So again, we're going to click Start Folding, and we want it for the Mac, and it knows that. So here again, it's going to explain a little bit about the software and what it does. And right here in the middle, it has the Folding at Home installer. And again, I'll highlight that right here. And this is again for the Mac. Folding at Home installer has the Apple, just to let you know. And it says right down here if you don't see the correct software for your device. So if for some reason you're on a Mac, but it's showing you the Windows version or vice versa, you can click that link and download the right version. But this is the one we want, so I'm going to click on this. And it is now downloading to my computer, and it has finished. It's rather small, doesn't take a lot of time. It's a pretty quick download. So, boom, it's already on my computer. I downloaded it from their server onto mine. So we're going to look, and in number 4 is run installer. So we've downloaded it. Now we need to run that. So let's do this. Let me get out everything here. Okay. Down here is my downloads. These are all the things I've downloaded. On my Mac, it goes into this downloads folder. The other way you can get to that folder is you can click on your Finder, which will open a window. You can go over here and click on Downloads, and then it should be alphabetical, and there it is, FAH installer, blah, 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 .zip. And what .zip means, let's see this little zipper here, that specifically means it's a bunch of files just sort of combined into one. So instead of downloading hundreds of files, it's zippered up into one file. And what we need to do is unzipper it, right? So we need to double click, and that will unzip it. And so I'll double click on this file, and it unzips. And it turns into another type of file. Now this is a package. This is like an installer package. So again, it's a bunch of files, maybe hundreds of files, all combined into this little package that we need to run. So one last time, I'm going to double click on the package. And here we go. This says, I'll zoom into this for us. This says the installer can't be opened because Apple can't check it for malicious software. So what this means is, depending on what Mac OS you're running, the more recent versions have sort of a guardian that stops you from running and installing software that isn't sort of vetted, isn't checked. And so what Apple is saying is it doesn't know this file, it's not sure what it is, so it doesn't want you to run it. Now, that's usually a good thing, because this could be a file we got from an email or a file that you downloaded from a weird source that you can't verify, and you probably wouldn't want to run that. But since we know we got this from a legitimate source, we went right to their website, downloaded from their website, I'm going to go ahead and override this. I'm going to tell my computer that, thank you for warning me, but I still want to run this installer. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I'm going to say, okay, thank you for warning me. And it's just going to kick you back to this, right? Not let you do anything. So we're going to want to go to our settings, and very specifically the security settings. And again, you can do that by going to your little gearbox if it's down here on your dock, or you can go up to your Apple and go to System Preferences right there. Okay. Now on this page, you're looking for security and privacy, and again, depending on the version of Mac you have, Mac OS, this could be in different spots. There's a nice little search up here, so you can search for security if that's what you're looking for. And we're going to click that. Now, the security window comes up, and again, I'll zoom in just so we can see just this. And right here, we're on the General tab. And you'll notice if you go down just a little bit, it says Allow Apps Downloaded From, and right here, it's letting us know, hey, I blocked this file, but here's the magic button, Open Anyway. So thank you for warning me, but I'm going to run this anyways. And that's what we want to do here. So open anyway. It's going to warn you one last time. Are you sure? Are you really sure? Yes. Open. Let's open this up. All right. And so what is now happening is I'll close my windows. That package, and you can see here's our little package, opened. So before it wouldn't open, so we had to go into the security and say open anyways. So depending on how your computer is set up, you may not have to do that step, but just in case you run into that, that's how you fix it. All right, now here we are again on number 4, step 4, run the installer. And this is going to install all the files on your computer where they need to go. So it's going to give you a little information again about what it's doing. This is called protein folding. And it's going to install some software. You can click this link to read some more information. It's giving you this license agreement. Yes, I agree. Continue. One more time. I agree. And here we go. Where do you want to install it? I'm assuming you have your main hard drive. If you have other hard drives, you want to make sure you install it on your main operating system hard drive. So here we go. Continue. This is going to take just a small fraction of space. Are you sure? Yes, I'm going to click install. All right. Now, what it's telling me is I need to use my fingerprint. I have a Mac that has a fingerprint sensor on it. So as opposed to typing in a password, I'm going to use my fingerprint. Of course, I could say use my password here. And that's where you would type that in to authorize the installer. It's going to put files in a bunch of spots. You need to authorize that that's going to happen. And there we go. We get the green check mark. Things are installed successfully. Awesome. So I'm going to hit close on that. Now, do you want to move this installer into the trash? It's asking. Yeah, I'm done with it. You only need to install this once. So let's move it to the trash. Off it goes. All right. Now what it's going to do is it's going to launch this Google Chrome window. And this is sort of your view into your folding at home software. But that's really, I'm going to get rid of this for a second, okay? Because we don't need to look at this right now. What I really want to do is go to number 5, which is to show you where this app lives and how to sort of control it. So again, I'm going to go into my Finder here. And I'm going to go over to my window and I'm going to click Applications. And again, this should be the list of all the applications that are installed on your computer. And if you look down here in the F, Folding at Home has its own folder. And then in here we see a couple files, and this is important. Number 1, you see FAH Control. This is the software that will control how much work you want your computer to do, what team you're working for, that kind of stuff. And we'll do that in part 2. You have FAH Viewer, which lets you get an inside look at the actual protein that you're working on and what specific area of the protein is folding at the moment. So it's really interesting from a scientific point of view. And of course, right here, you have uninstall folding at home. So if this is a school computer or a shared computer or a computer lab and you want to uninstall folding at home because you're giving it to someone else for whatever reason, uninstall right here will remove everything that we just did and take you back to 0 and get rid of it. All right. So I want to go into FAH Control, and that is number 5, Start FAH Control App. So I'm going to double click on this. We're going to start it up. And here we go. You are officially done. Once you launch this app, your computer is ready to go. It's going to start with the default settings, and it's going to start working on these proteins when you're not working on your computer. So when your computer is idle, it's going to do its thing. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. Now, you will notice this looks kind of like a Windows screen. This is the exact same that it looks like on Windows 10. And let me move this over here for you so we can do a little bit of information, and I'll do this. Okay. So when you first install the software, you're going to be an anonymous donor, meaning your computer is going to do a bunch of research and send it back anonymously. That automatically happens, and it's happening right now. What I have done is gone ahead, and as you can see, part 2, I've gone ahead and actually set up a user ID and a team. The reason I did this is because I have a lot of computers here in the lab, and I wanted all of them to sort of be working on one team, and that helps me keep track of how much each computer is doing and it's sort of fun to invite my friends and other people to contribute to the team and see Tech Teacher Support do a bunch of research and help out. So I'll get more into that into part 2, but I want to end this right now. If you've gotten this far, you are done. Right here where it says name, it'll say anonymous on your computer. That just means you are doing all of the work, but it's crediting sort of anonymously. It doesn't have an ID to credit. It doesn't have you or your name. So you're just giving anonymously. And you can do that and be done and fine. The second thing I want to show you on here is this where it says folding power. You see you have 3 options, light, medium, and full. This simply means when you're not working on your computer, how hard do you want it to work on folding proteins? Now, on the laptop computer, you may want to say light or medium because it may overheat. There's a lot of work involved. It may get really hot. So I usually leave it on light on my laptop. Same thing with this Dell over here. If you put it on anything other than light, medium, or full, the fans on this thing just go 100 miles an hour, and it's a lot of work for the laptop to do. Now, however, on my tower computer, I set this thing all the way up to full because my tower PC has like 7 fans in it. It's built to be sort of a high performance computer, so it can handle the full power, and the proteins will crunch, crunch, crunch and heat up, and the computer will cool it. So those are just the 2 things I wanted to show you. As my computer starts talking to the research center, the Folding at Home Research Center, you will see these numbers over here start to fill out. And this will give you some information about which project you're working on right here. So for example, are you working on a Parkinson's project, an Alzheimer's project? Are you working on a coronavirus project? And this will give you some information about how much your computer has done and how much more it needs to do. So what I'm going to do is stop here. Thank you for tuning in. This has been really cool. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. Or as you can see, Tech Teacher Support has a Twitter. You can reach us at Tech Teacher Sup, S-U-P, and I will go to that right now. If you post any questions on here, I'll see them. I will answer them. I have office hours every day. We will be streaming every day, and I'll put those up as well. Again, you can always go to techteachersupport.com to get more information about what we do if you're here in Central Ohio. And again, I will post this link so you can read some more information about what your computer is actually doing. So I'm going to go back to the beginning. Thank you very much for tuning in. Hopefully this worked on your computer and your computer will start crunching right away. I'll show you tomorrow how much work Tech Teacher Support has done, what the team has done, and how you can be a part of that. So again, if you have any questions, put them in the comments, put them on Twitter. Have a great night. Thank you for tuning in. And I'm going to cut this right here, and let's see how easy that is. All right, 1, 2, 3. See you guys. Bye.